The very concerned sound coming from the government at the moment, New South Wales government, about the current Delta strain of the COVID wave that is breaking loose in our community is understandable, because they're concerned that there'll be a wave of acute cases and resources in the health sector will be overwhelmed, and that will be a very bad outcome for the people of Sydney and New South Wales. So we can understand that they would want to be giving us a very cautionary note at the moment that we need to take seriously. But there is another contagion that we need to be careful about. I was talking about this with the mustard seed people on Zoom this morning, and that is the contagion of fear. And it is also a social contagion, that is, we catch it from each other. And if we're not careful, we can start to behave in ways that are very unhelpful in a situation like the one we're currently facing. When we fear, we don't look out for one another quite so well. We tend to focus on our own survival, and we start to make binary choices like us or them, me or you, those sorts of things. And in a situation like the one we're currently facing, we really need to make choices that are us and them, me and you, because there's no beating this virus for some of us. We've got to beat it for all of us. If it still persists in the community for anyone, then it's still an issue for everyone. So rather than when our Premier says, assume you've got COVID, assume the person next to you's got COVID, rather than that causing you to be fearful either for yourself or about the person sitting or standing next to you, be careful, be caring, be wise, and be responsible, but don't be frightened. Fear is something that will not help us in this situation. You cannot defeat one contagion with another. And so I strongly advise that rather than being frightened, we turn instead to prayer. And you might think, well, that's just escapism, isn't it? Well, I don't think so. It's very hard to fear somebody that you're praying for. It's very hard to turn your back on them as well. In fact, if you pray for somebody, if you pray for a community, in fact, you'll find that into your heart and mind comes ideas and motives to do good for them. That's what happens when you pray. God does this miracle. Most of the miracle is actually in the person praying. And I'd encourage you to be a person of prayer at this time. As we go through this crisis, this terrible disease that's going around, although I have to be honest, I'm not glad there was 77 on Sunday morning, but I'm amazed it's still only 77. I mean, 40-something thousand people get tested. Over 50 of them were household contacts. It's pretty remarkable that this highly contagious disease is still fairly contained in our society, in our community. I'm not saying we should lighten up. Others might. I'm not saying that. I am saying that we shouldn't be frightened, that we should be caring, responsible, and prayerful. So that's what I'd encourage you to do and to be. Don't be scared. Be a person of faith. We need them at the moment, people of faith. God bless. See you soon.